All right, so this is part 2 of choosing the right course or mentorship. And in this video, we're gonna be talking about the 4 ways, the 4 different education tiers, the 4 ways you'll go about learning, right? So in that last video, we spoke about that 5-point checklist that we use that really helps us before we get involved with anyone, whether it be a course or a mentorship. But this is how we go about consuming that information, and this is how I recommend you do it as well, which is gonna save you the most time and money and help you efficiently learn the skill. So in tier 1, we're gonna be talking about free material, right? Who doesn't like free? Free material is gonna help you decide how that person teaches, if they're relatable, if they are relevant, if they have that 5-point checklist. You could take it all in from their free material. On top of the fact, in most fields, the free material is enough to get you to a point where you know if it's something that you want to commit to, right? Let's just use Amazon as an example, right? Because that's what we teach. For the most part, that's what we know. When we started learning Amazon, we took in all of the free material. I'm talking about YouTube's free courses they had, everything, because that helped us understand, hey, is this the business model for us? But it also helped us understand who would be the right guide for us, who would teach us the best way to get us to that end goal as quick as possible, right? So we took in all of the information on YouTube, all of their courses, all of the blog posts, everything we could, we took it all in. And what that allowed us to do is we made decisions at the time where, hey, this is A, the business model for us, but B, this is who exactly we want to be teaching us. So do yourself a favor. If you have any interest at all in learning a skill set, consume the free material. If you have any interest at all in learning Amazon FBA, I really think that if you haven't taken it already, take our free course. It's gonna be in the description. We go through everything in video format of what Amazon FBA is, what it isn't, the different business models, everything to get you to a point where you should be making at least $1,000 a month after taking our free course. So do yourself a favor. If you have any interest, take that course. All right, but we talked about the free tier. My favorite tier because it doesn't cost anything and I'm not fully committed. Tier 2 is one of the scarier tiers for most people because this is when you have to make a decision to not only bet on that person that's gonna be teaching you, but it's a bet on yourself, right? As soon as you pay for something, you have made a commitment to yourself to use it, right? So once you pay for this tier, which is gonna be our course tier, right? Most people who teach something, they have some kind of course, prices range. It can be $10, to multiple thousands of dollars. But that course tier is when you're betting on yourself and betting on that person to deliver you what you need to get to a certain point. So the course tier is a very terrifying tier for people. It's a tier that most people don't go to because honestly, most people don't have the confidence in themselves to really execute on what they learn, or they expect too much out of what they learn. I've seen so many people say, hey, this course didn't work, and my question is always why, right? Was it the person that was teaching it? Did you not make the commitment? If it's the person that was teaching it, then A, you didn't consume enough of their free material to know that it's the right person to be teaching you. You have to take accountability for that and understand that that's your fault. If it's a lack of commitment and a lack of execution on what you learned, that's still your fault, right? This is all on you. You are the one making the decision and you're gonna have to live with it, right? So be careful on this tier. Do your due diligence, make sure it's something that you A, want to do, and B, it's the right person for it. But the course tier is what is going to bring you to that next level, right? When we started to consume all the free materials, there was a certain point, we were actually doing about $60,000 a month in sales before we decided to pay for a course. But it was an important step for us. It made us more committed to the goal and made us pretty much take that next step in bringing our business to that next level. And honestly speaking, the jump we had from going from 60,000 to about 850,000 for the year was all about the course. The course taught us so many things that we didn't have access to. How to run a warehouse, how to better structure our emails going out to suppliers, how to place better orders, how to negotiate. Certain things that some of the free material just didn't really map out for us. The course helped us with that. And honestly speaking, I think the first course we bought was maybe 2,000 or so, or 3,000, but it brought us from 60,000 in revenue to 850,000 in revenue. I think that's a no-brainer. It was worth it, and we took our time before making that decision, but no regrets, 0 regrets. And since then, we've bought a lot more courses that have helped us progress to that next level. So I think that courses are very important. The education system is changing, and far gone are the days where you had to, go to a 4-year college to learn a skill set. There are people that can teach you something in weeks, months, and really just, when it comes to money, really multiply your income by 4, whether it be a side hustle or something that you want to replace your job. So courses are important in my mind. Third tier And for me, I think this is my favorite tier. This is gonna be group mentorship. Why is this my favorite tier? Because if you've ever started a business or you're looking to start a business, it can be very scary and it can be very isolating because most of the time there are other people in your life who are not gonna understand what you're doing. There's a lot of negativity in this world, as I'm sure we all know. There are a lot of people that are gonna bring you down, and you internalize that. And this is gonna be a place where you're not comfortable being. And the good thing about group mentorships is that, similar to a classroom, it is everyone at a very similar point being brought in and learning at the same place, at the same pace. So you're gonna make similar mistakes, you're gonna have similar questions, you're gonna run into similar roadblocks, right? And as we know, that's kind of comforting to know, like, all right, I'm not the only one going through this, right? There are other people who are directly around me who have A, committed to this mentorship, and B, are going through the same thing I'm going through. It really lets you feel more comfortable with where you are in the process and gives you a lot of reassurance that you're on the right path. And not only that, you actually have a lot more access to whoever's teaching you. So group mentorships, I love them. I love cohorts. I love learning with other people. I love growing with other people. We're part of a bunch of cohorts in different things, entrepreneurship, Airbnb business, we're part of a cohort. And it definitely helps us. And it's definitely shortened the learning curve tremendously for us, having access to not only the coach and the person teaching us, but having access to those people who are at the same place as us. You can even go into these groups and have an accountability partner where you guys can process progress together. I think group mentorships are great, but I don't recommend getting into this tier unless you A, have the resources for it, and B, you vetted the coach and teacher enough to know that this is the right person for the job. If you haven't consumed everyone's free material and you're going into a mentorship with them, whether it be group or the next tier, then I don't think it's the right move, because you're probably gonna end up regretting it because you just don't know enough about how they teach, what they're teaching, and making sure it's the right fit for you, right? I've seen so many people, what they do is they go on someone's Instagram, per se, and they see a lifestyle that they want to replicate. Like, they'll see the beachfront pictures or the cars or the trips or whatever it may be, the jewelry, whatever it is that they kind of want in their life. And that is enough of a deciding factor for them to get into pretty much, this is like a relationship pretty much. To get in a relationship with this coach, bad move. A lot more often than not, you're gonna end up regretting it. Ask as many questions of that person as you need for you to feel comfortable. Consume as much of their free material as you need to feel comfortable. Talk to people who have gone through their course and program before to make sure that it will bring you to that level of success that you're looking for before making that commitment. You wanna be 100% sure. Now, that doesn't mean be completely nervous, because you're always gonna be nervous when making these decisions, but you wanna be as sure as you possibly can before making a commitment to any course, program, or mentorship, right? All right, so that was tier 3, the group mentorship. And tier 4, this is like the epitome of education, in my opinion. This is when you have direct mentorship, one-on-one mentorship. I love one-on-one mentorship. I don't really like it as much as group, but I think it is way more useful because you get direct access to a person with much more experience than you, who has already been exactly where you are and can help you navigate the waters to get to the point where they are. That direct mentorship, honestly speaking, for us so far, we haven't had fingers crossed, a bad one-on-one mentorship as of yet. They've all been tremendous. They've all provided us with great value, and that's why we continue to invest in it. Like I mentioned in the last video, but we have spent multi-six figures on mentorship just this year alone. And the ROI has been tremendous. It has helped us grow, whether it be in our fitness, in our business, in our personal life, everything. When we get in one-on-one mentorships, we've already vetted that person to the T. We already know all the information, like the back to back. Like before we get in one-on-one mentorships, if you have a book, we've done read the book, every single book. The audio, we read the book, we've taken all your information, any courses you've had, we've taken them, we taken all of the information before making that decision, because it's a commitment. Like we're in one mentorship right now, it's a year long. It took us months to make this decision, months. We sat there, we made sure not to rush it. We looked at every other comparable mentorship, and this is just for our business in general and managing all of our different teams and everything. But it took us forever to make this decision by some people's standards. But I think it was the right amount of time and the right amount of vetting of the person to make sure it was the right fit for us. And I couldn't be happier with how it's going. But that was because we did due diligence. If we just waited a week and said, hey, by the end of the week, we need to decide who's gonna be our mentor for the next year, and we rushed into it, we could have made a decision we regretted, which is a waste of time and money. A year is not a short period of time by any standards. And the amount of money that you end up paying for these are not, they're just as important. So make sure before you get into this tier, which is I think the top tier, which is one-on-one mentorship, make sure you're dealing with the right person. I generally say go through these in order. Free, everything free. Take it all in, make sure it's the right feel for you. Then you go to that course tier if they have it. Some people don't have it. They really go into one-on-one or group mentorships. All right, so if it's not available, it's not available. But if there's a course tier, take all that information in, because you're gonna start building confidence in yourself and in that person, right? You go from free, you start making some money with whatever skill set, then you hit that ceiling, then you go to that course tier where they start answering questions that you didn't have access to in just the free material. You're paying for the course and the time, obviously. And a lot of times in the course tier, there's a free community that's given to you when you get in the course, so that helps as well. Then you get into that group tier. If it's available, most people do have a group course, a group cohort available. And if not, they have the one-on-one. But then after you've already, made money in the skill, you have confidence in yourself, you hit a ceiling and you trust the person that has taught you so far, then you work your way up to that top mentorship. And that, generally speaking, will get you to that maximum level of knowledge that you need in your business. For us, that is exactly how we've run our business for the past 4 years that we've been in it, and it helps us. There have been very few instances where we have jumped and skipped around. I can only think of one where we went from free to group to one-on-one mentorship, and we still vetted the person in and out. But I think now you have the 4 tiers, you have the 5-point checklist. I think you have everything you need to start looking into who's gonna be the right teacher for you in whatever field you're looking to get into. If you have any questions at all about this process and you wanna know more information, or you want me to do a deeper dive into any of these, either tiers or the checklist, leave it in the comments, let us know, and we'll be sure to make a video just mapping out whatever you need. So here to help, and good luck on the journey.